Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Jazz Zodiac podcast, the greatest podcast you've never heard of. This is also the podcast that has no real agenda and no script, as far as you know. This is the podcast that doesn't need another 100 people to take out that gorilla. We can do it ourselves. We got this. Lot going on in this episode. Of course, we'll be talking about Backlash. There's some post-WrestleMania stuff we'll be talking about later in the show. Once again, I'll be having on Charles Richardson and my brother JP to give us predictions and review of the show. Unfortunately, my brother JP would not be able to do the review. He had to work, and timing wouldn't be able to allow that. So we agreed to just me and Charles would do it. I will say that I'll talk about this later on, that the picks for Backlash did not go the way I would have liked to didn't go the way I would have hoped they would have gone. Got my tongue tied there for a minute. But those two jerks were pretty spot on in what they did. So that being said, and I need to pull this up. I'm surprised I didn't have it up before I jumped online. But I've been doing this podcast for a little over a year now, and I have not gotten any real feedback from anybody, not even from any kind of email or anything. So over the beginning of this week on Spotify, I got my first comment. A gentleman who saw my, I guess you could call it viral now. It's got 1.8 million views of my reaction to Edge coming out in the 2020 Rumble. On this apparently popped up in his FYE page on TikTok, and this is I'd said it from the very beginning. If I ever got a comment and or an email, I would read it on the show. So I'm going to stick to that. And to Benjamin John Natal, I hope I said that right. And this was 6 days ago. He sent this message. I just finally got around to replying to him because, work gets busy. And when I get home, I just want to go to bed. But Benjamin writes to me, finally got around to the podcast after the Edge Royal Rumble reaction video on TikTok, which appeared on my FYP the other week, and now got back into wrestling after years away from wrestling. Now, first off, I want to say to you, Benjamin, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. We hope you're here for the long run, because I'm not planning on taking this show away anytime soon. I love what I do. It's a great hobby to have. It's definitely, I get to hang out with some cool people and talk about not just wrestling, but also with Star Wars. This being Star Wars month, I'm planning on doing a Star Wars episode, hopefully, if I can get the people together to do it. But that being said, Benjamin, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. That's awesome to hear that, and you're not the only person who stepped away from wrestling and then come back. I've done it multiple times. I haven't been a consistent fan. I've taken little breaks here and there. It happens. You lose not really you lose interest, but sometimes the product just isn't what it is. After the Attitude Era, the product got a little stale. See, I kind of stepped away for a minute, but now we're back, and that's all that matters, is that we're back. We're having fun. The product is way better than it's been in a long time. So I want to say thank you for your kind words, and I'm glad that I was able to get you back into the fray. I know it's a bumpy ride, so yeah. And for those of you listening to this on YouTube, you'll happen to notice that you can see my rather disgusting face on your screen. I am playing with the idea of going back to the video podcast for YouTube, and then, of course, the audio for Spotify and everything else. The editing will be a little bit different, but I'm just seeing how it goes. I'm curious how that'll go. The editing will be a little bit different, obviously, but to everybody out there, if you're new, like you, Mr. Benjamin, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Bring your friends. I'm fresh out of cookies, unfortunately, but I will stock up next time I go to the store. I should make a Costco around here pretty soon. If you've been here a minute, I want to thank you for being here as well. I'm going to promote my co-host shows before I promote mine. You can find Charles's show on YouTube. Just search The Charles Richardson Show. He's on YouTube, and he does his show live on Mondays and Wednesdays. I forget the times because he's on the East Coast. I'm in Mountain Time, so the times are a little bit different. As for my brother, the Psycho Nerd Podcast, also on YouTube. His is video, and that's all he does is YouTube. He doesn't do Spotify or any of the other stuff. I've been contemplating going away from Spotify and just having the video. I'm still up in the air about that. We'll see how this goes. But again, the Charles Richardson Show, YouTube, Psycho Nerd Podcast, YouTube as well. As for my show, the Jazz Zodiac Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and of course, YouTube. I'm sure there's one more I'm forgetting, but that's okay. iHeartRadio. I always forget about iHeart. Audio on those, video on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow. Please leave me some feedback. Leave some comments. Get that algorithm going so it goes out to more people. That way, more people see the product. I want people to be able to see what I'm doing, and maybe one day get monetized. That is the dream, right? To get paid to do what you love. That's the dream, anyway. There was a couple. We will not be doing, and you'll figure this out at the end of the episode. We will not be doing the Saturday Night Main Event show. That's a holiday weekend, which I totally forgot about. So I may end up doing something else during that week with the group. I'm not sure. We have 2 weeks to plan it out, so I'm not in a hurry to figure it out. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything you want to say to me, just email the show at thejazzodiacpodcast@gmail.com. I will read your email. I will read your comments, emails, whatever you send me. Send that out. I'm also going to be doing more stuff on the Facebook page. I did a couple of polls the past couple of weeks and got some pretty big responses from them. I'm going to do that more going forward to kind of tie into the episode. You can just search up the Jazz Zodiac Podcast on Facebook, follow there as well. We're currently at 69 followers there. I want to get that to 100, so let's get that number up. I mean, 69 is a great number, don't get me wrong, but I want 100. Also, if you want to see some interesting, fun backyard wrestling that has an actual ring, not in the grass, on Facebook and on YouTube, search up Apex Championship Entertainment. I do commentary for that show as well. And I also have a side show called The Horoscope. Just finished my 4th episode of that not too long ago. It's a lot of fun. We have fun doing it. We try to put out content as much as we possibly can, at least every 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks. So give that a like and a subscribe as well. You'll be able to hear me and my commentary partner, Mr. Dick Bigums, the biggest dick in the business, as we byrate and just talk shit about everybody in the ring, except for Madman. We love the Madman. Without further ado, we'll jump right into the meat and potatoes of the show. This will be the some news and then the predictions and review of Backlash 2025. Stick around. We'll be back momentarily. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after some technical difficulties by the fucking host, we should fire that guy. But
yep, he should be sacked. Yes.
Okay, Monty Python, calm down. Anyway, before we talk about our Backlash predictions and some other stuff that's in the news and some polls that I've done on my Facebook page, let me introduce my guest on the show today. First, my brother, the creator of the Psycho Nerd Podcast. He's adopted, by the way. None other than John Parker Fanning.
What's up?
Boo. I don't have a boo, so boo.
Yeah, well, you can take your boo and shove it up your ass.
And my co-host, who has his own show, which I was on not too long ago, and it was a lot of fun. That was actually a really cool thing to do. The creator of the Charles Richardson Show, none other than Charles Richardson.
Yeah, creative name, right? You know, I was thinking outside the box when I thought of that name. I'm thinking, let's do something that nobody's ever done ever in the history of radio or podcasting ever. I'm just going to go ahead and name it after myself.
Fucking that's what I did.
There you go.
I had other names in mind when I was creating mine, and I'm like, dude, the name's right there in front of me. So, so anyway, hopefully we won't have any difficulties this time because right around this point is when my mixer was like, yeah, I'm taking the day off. It's Saturday. So, yeah. Fucking Homer.
Tell him he can only take the day off on Sunday, goddammit.
That's when he rested. Anyway, first topic. That WrestleMania hangover. Now, we talked before we were recording that I'm not the only one here that has been a very bad wrestling fan the past couple of weeks. Just barely watching Raw, skipping through matches on SmackDown. And we'll go into that here in a minute about the rating of Facebook. But am I the only one here who's been kind of lagging on the content, so to speak, of WWE?
In a manner of speaking, I've literally spent the last 4 days binging 5 consecutive shows since the first Raw after WrestleMania. But I mean, I don't skip over matches or anything because you never know when a really good match might happen, especially on SmackDown, because sometimes the show feels a little lackluster from time to time. But yeah, that's a lot of wrestling in a couple of days, man. Let me tell you.
Agreed. It'd be kind of an overload too.
It really is. Yeah.
What about you, Charles?
I'm going to take the opposite. I've actually been paying attention more. Usually because my show runs on Monday, and half the time I don't do the show on Monday, but I have done it the past couple of Mondays, but I've always caught up on Raw either half of that night and I just fall asleep, or and then half the next day. But I'm always caught up, ready to go.
Yeah, I get that. And like I said, because I don't have cable, so I have to use a VPN to watch SmackDown on Netflix. So with me catching it after the fact, I can fast forward through, the filler. Which again, I'm looking forward to SmackDown going back to 2 hours. That's the thing I like about Netflix is that it's not a full 3 hours. It's like 2.5, 2:20 maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Yeah. So for those of us that got to work in the morning, we're in bed by 9. Those us old people that go to bed early.
Unless you're a night owl like me, in which case it doesn't matter.
Normally I am, but I got a day job, so.
I used to.
Yeah, but it's nice to know that at least we're consistent. We're kind of keeping up. I try to avoid social media, especially if I know something big is going to happen. I'll avoid TikTok and Facebook and Instagram to a point. Don't see a whole lot of spoilers on Instagram, so.
No, but Facebook does a real good job of spoiling everything. So,
but moving on, I had recently put the day after WrestleMania, I put on my Facebook page a rating of WrestleMania. Let me find it. Now, I probably could have put more than 4 options, but this is where my mind was at the time. I had put greatest WrestleMania of all time. This year, WrestleMania was mid-level average. And what in the hell was Hunter thinking? I got a total of 16 votes, which is not horrible. 7% said that it was the greatest of all time. They're wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong.
81% said it was mid-level or average. And then 12% were like, what the fuck was Hunter thinking? Now, of those 3 choices, starting with you, Jay, what do you think?
Well, first off, you needed at least 4, if not 5 tiers, because I would say WrestleMania goes in between the mid-level and greatest of all time. It goes somewhere in between those two. I wouldn't say it was the greatest, but there were enough matches to make it better than regular mid-level or mid-card level type shit. So it was a fun show. Just a couple of duds here and there.
Let me ask you a question. You're talking about putting more tiers and all that. Whose show? What's the name of the show again?
Hey, you can't hold it against me if I notice you have flaws, sir.
Stuff like that to get you banned. Charles, what do you think?
So what I think is that there should have been a 4th tier, and that would have been somewhere between the mid-level and the greatest of all time. I'm just shooting, I'm shooting from the hip here. I didn't hear this from anybody else, but I'm over here thinking that there should have been great WrestleMania, not the greatest of all time, but great, because it did not live up to last year's WrestleMania, let alone So it's not the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But it is way above average. So there should have been that fourth tier. There may be 5 tiers. I mean, it could have been a 5th tier there where it's just a big pile of dog shit. But definitely in between number 1 and 2. So actually, if I had to vote, and those are my 3 choices, I would just comment right below and give you the middle finger.
See, and that's the right way to fucking put the host in his place. There you go. Now, see, for me, night 1 was mid. It was, ugh.
It was
night 2 saved it. Night 2, with the exception, and again, going back to what Cena said, he's going to ruin wrestling. What did Cena do? He wrestled a shitty fucking match for that championship. So he did exactly what he said he was going to do. So that match, by that perspective, got a lot better in my mind.
Fuck that, man.
Just with the fact that he did what he said he was going to do. He's going to fucking ruin wrestling.
He's been ruining wrestling since. He's been ruining wrestling. You
shut your dirty fucking mouth. How dare you? That is the GOAT.
Don't be talking about my Massachusetts boy like that.
How dare you, sir?
Go ahead and slap that monster.
But you know what? Since you're going to be a little douchebag about that, we'll talk about the next topic. I put this on all social media: Facebook, TikTok.
See what you did,
MySpace.
What? What?
See what you did there, doing your penis? You made him move along with the show. What the hell?
How dare you, sir?
Shame on me. I'll learn from my mistakes.
Now
you do that.
Yeah. I put on.
You're gonna ruin the Josh Zodiac podcast.
I put on all social media, including MySpace, for you
MySpace.
Old people. Yeah.
What the fuck?
What
the fuck?
A wrestler that people love and adore that you just cannot stand. Now, before we give our comments, I'm going to read some of the, not all, just some of the comments that I got. This is from TikTok. Someone named Matt said Braun Breaker. Some guy named John said Eddie Guerrero, and that one is like, ooh,
what?
Yeah, that one hurt.
How do you not?
I know.
Crave Eddie Guerrero.
I know. Another one on here, which is kind of makes sense, but it does hurt, is Chris Benoit.
Yeah, but you know damn well they're focusing on his personal life, not his wrestling life.
Probably.
You know damn well that's what's
more
happening
than
there.
likely. Yeah, you're probably right. Let me see. My buddy Scuba, who is the creator of the Somewhat Supernatural podcast, which you should also follow and listen to, said John Cena. Oh, I didn't see that he said John Cena. How fucking dare you? Know what? Don't follow his shit. Fuck him. God damn it. How somebody put Joe Hendry. What the fuck? I didn't even see that. Wow. Someone doesn't believe in Joe Hendry.
I can kind of see Joe Hendry. I mean, I'm not that critical for Joe Hendry right now, but the fact that he's TNA and the really only reason why he has a name for himself, not because of just number one, lack of knowledge, and they see social media. And it's like, oh, well, he just made his thing because say his name and he appears, and it's caught on. It's caught on like wildfire. It's not about, oh, yeah, he's a great wrestler or he's a champion or what. Nothing of that. No, fucking social media. So I can kind of get that answer, but I'm not too critical. I would like to see more of him because he is entertaining for the 3 or 4 minutes that we see him in matches.
Yeah, and they're talking about giving him a contract once his TNA one is done. So,
well, he's already going to defend the TNA title at Battleground on NXT. So it's like
no shit.
They're already filling him in to NXT. So that's nice. That seems to be the way it's going to go. Is somebody said his name way too often in NXT, and he's appearing.
That's how it works, isn't it?
My buddy Ben, the creator of the Recycled Corn podcast, who you should also follow that one as well, said Stephanie McCure. I don't know enough about her or seen her wrestle enough to have an opinion about her, but I'll let him have it. Somebody named Al James said Rhea Ripley. Wow.
Whoa, that's bold.
That's bold. Mommy will punish you.
I wish,
and not in the way you're gonna like either.
I wish you would punish me. Shoot.
This was almost this person here, Clayson Fields on Facebook, put Goldberg and then the shrug, and I'm like, you know what? I can get behind that. That one I can get behind.
Well, he was a one-trick pony on WCW. Let's be fair here.
Let's see.
Yeah, now somebody jack shit in WWE. Nowhere close to any type of run, and I mean, he still had some juice left in the tank, but his first run. But it's like no way.
Let's see. Somebody put Charlotte Flair, but the crowd is so against her now. I can't include that one. Roman Reigns.
Big dog. Roman Reigns, yes.
The one I saw the most was Jey Uso. That was the one the comment I got the most was Jey Uso.
Wow.
It does seem like WWE's trying to push him down our throat. Kind of like you're going to push John Cena. We're going to try to push Roman Reigns down your throat. Back, big dog stage. Yeah. But it does seem like, listen, the only way he's hot is because he's got this yeet, and it can be used in all sorts of innuendos. Mm-hmm. So that's making it cool. Yeah. And it's making him cool. And honestly, what move does he have except super kick and a spear?
That's exactly that's my argument too.
And a splash from the top rope.
So basically, it looks like a limp fucking doll coming from the top rope.
Damn. CM Punk was on here. I think that's just bad blood from previous.
Somebody that liked AEW probably put that on there.
Probably. Mm-hmm. And then I get a woman named Mary McCarroll put Sting, Sid Vicious, and now Brock Lesnar. A few others would include the late Ultimate Warrior, the 1-2-3 Kid, or X-Pac, just to name a few more examples.
Well, did you check her profile? Is she hot?
I did not.
Because if she's a freaking
dog, no,
she's not.
She's a typical female wrestling fan.
Yeah,
I can understand Ultimate Warrior because let's face it, he had a lot of sizzle when he was running to the ring, but when the match started, he really wasn't that great.
Jesus.
He wasn't that great. That's a fact. It's a fact for what it is. Only one or two times can I remember him having a legit classic match, and I think WrestleMania 7 is a good example. Him versus Macho Man for the retirement match. That was a good match.
Now, this was my favorite comment until I read the whole thing, and now I'm kind of like, oops. Someone named Matt Williams wrote, and I quote, "I detest Stone Cold Steve Austin. Never liked him and never will. And that was before he was a known woman beater and alleged racist." Let that one sink in for a minute.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Logan Paul.
Number one, I don't care if Stone Cold's a racist. Because I don't hear anybody saying Hulk Hogan because he's a racist.
But
I don't see anybody on there saying that.
That's a good valid point. And nobody on here put Hulk Hogan, not one person.
So if he's a woman beater, then shame on him. If he's a racist, shame on him.
I agree.
But we're going to put that into the category of Chris Benoit's personal life. That's the category we're going to put that in. Yep. When you go ahead and look at Stone Cold, the guy can wrestle. The guy could work. Was he a high flyer? No, he was a bruiser, like Cena, like Cody. He was a bruiser. He had a gimmick where he was bathing himself in beer every night, flicking the crowd off, and now he's selling beer and he's working in a ranch. What the fuck is wrong with him?
No, I mean
he made fucking great content for WWE.
Yeah.
If you talk Stone Cold Steve Austin, you can't. If you give me a reason besides his personal life, what did he do on camera that made you say pissed off? What are you pissed off because he walked for one time and then decided, well, shit, I fucking made a mistake and came back?
Yeah.
Come on, what are you gonna do? The Rock did the same thing. He left for Hollywood for God knows how long, and it's like, I'm a multi-billionaire now. I can go and come back. You can't use that. What in ring or on camera for WWE did you detest?
I don't know. You can't deny he was the greatest superstar commodity they had during the Attitude Era. He was at the top for a good amount of time.
He was definitely one of the three that showed up there. You had The Rock, you had Stone Cold, Triple H was on there.
Undertaker.
The Undertaker, that is your Mount Rushmore right there of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I even give Mick Foley a little nod because he contributed plenty during that time too.
Well, Mick Foley wouldn't be at the top; he'd be down, with a broken table at the bottom. So so he would be down at the bottom of the mountain, but it would be a broken table there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of tax.
See, Logan Paul, Sasha Banks, and then the comment that really caught my attention from someone named Ian Totten says, everyone currently active. Wrestling died in 1997 and has been a shit show of bad comedy and unbelievability ever since.
Then take your
1997?
1997. Then take your fucking non-creative ass and go sit there in front and watch fucking Tim Allen's Home Improvement or Roseanne or whatever. Take your that's out. You go right ahead and just stop watching. We don't care if you trust me. We will move on.
See, my comment to his comment is this. Because you know what? If you are commenting on a wrestling podcast page,
were you playing a bit there for a second? Because we didn't hear.
Yeah, I heard it in the background. But I
did. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. I played something. What the fuck is that?
Okay.
But my thing about that is you're commenting on a podcast that talks about wrestling and pop culture, but yet you made it the point to see it and make a comment. So obviously you're still watching. So they're still getting your time.
That's true.
That's right.
If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. That's what I'm saying.
And to quote the great Obi-Wan, who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
That's a good line.
100%.
Moving on.
Hang on. There we go. We were going to talk about Carmella being pregnant, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't fucking care because she bitched and moaned that they didn't re-sign me because I had a kid. Now, had they re-signed her, she would take more time out because she's having another fucking kid. Because Corey Graves is becoming the fucking Nick Cannon of WWE. Excuse me.
Well, more power to her more power to her for having another kid. Both her and Corey, good for them. But
sure, it's Corey's.
I
don't know them enough to comment on that one.
Vince's kid. Mm-hmm. It's Vincent Kennedy McMahon's kid. He's got the genetic jackhammer. It's still going.
Genetic jackhammer. Powered by Viagra and Cialis.
The genetic jackass is probably more appropriate.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move right on into.
God, can you imagine banging Carmella? I'm sorry, I need a paper bag over her head. I mean, body great, but face it.
No, even her body's she's fake.
She's really skinny.
Yeah, she's really skinny with big tits.
That's okay.
At least Natalya, she's a little bit thicker, and it's all proportionate.
Mm-hmm.
Carmella's a stick with two big balloons attached to it.
Proportion's fine. I'm okay with proportion.
But we will move on to the meat and potatoes of the show, which is the 2025 Backlash predictions. I'm not sure if these are in any particular order, but we're going to go in the order they are on the website. And that is going to be the Intercontinental Championship, Dirty Dom Mysterio versus Penta. These two guys have been kind of going head-to-head for a while now. Me personally, I don't see in any world where Dirty Dom would lose it that quickly. Even if you're the shittiest IC champion, you're going to keep it for at least a month before you drop it again.
And that's where we'll go ahead and be foolish and say interference.
That's exactly what I'm guessing. Yeah,
that was the name of the game. Fucking WrestleMania, every match interference. Every match interference. No, I think Judgment Day will be there. But I don't think they're going to have the interference that we're thinking. We might see...
It'll be distraction.
We might even see Ray Phoenix show up to help out his brother. You never know.
Actually, that would be interesting if that happened.
It could happen. And they could set up...
I like to see a lot of luchas get behind like a little NWO thing going up against DX type thing. We got the luchadors going up against Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I could set up, but...
They can even set something up between the two brothers and and the Judgment Day. And like I said, they're probably not going to put either one of them in the title picture for a while. Maybe the tag titles, maybe against the New Day, but I don't see it happening.
I don't know. They're on separate shows though, so
that is true. But then again, we've had people from other shows go on to other ones all the time. It's the draft doesn't mean shit. Let's be real. The draft doesn't mean a fucking thing.
Well, there is 2 tag team titles out there. So you got the Street Profits and New Day. So if they don't face the New Day because they're on separate shows, they're going to the Street Profits.
It's true.
Possibility.
So, JP, your pick.
Oh, Dominic's going over. Like you said before, whether it's going to be some form of interference. He's not going to keep it clean. If he does, I'd be fucking surprised all to hell. So Judgment Day will have a finger in this in one way or another.
Yeah, I like how you said something with somebody having a finger in it. Great.
All it takes is a pinky.
Oh yeah, I mean it's dirty. So
it's a dirty Sanchez. It's a dirty Sanchez pinky.
Sorry, this is a bigger finger. This is much bigger.
Smells like mommy.
Yeah. It did smell like mommy. Now it
was from down
now
under.
It smells like live ass.
I'd rather be with Kyle's ass.
Dominic keeps it. I mean, what's really the point on keeping having him win a championship and then actually having the crowd put you over? Is that reason enough to say, hey, that's not the reaction we thought it was going to be? Let's get the crowd off you.
Agreed.
That's the only reason I see Penta winning it is because, oops, we made a mistake. Sorry, Dom, this is not going the way we wanted it to go.
But he's over. He's over.
Yeah. I'd say Dom still wins.
Fair enough. So we're all unanimous in that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of LA Knight, the fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. You got Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight and Damian Priest. I watched the match last night, the tag match between LA Knight and Damian Priest versus Solo and Fatu. And Damian and LA Knight just cannot work together. And that's fine. But that was all story. I get that. But
yeah,
it was such a great fucking match. I mean, I thought it'd be a throwaway. And of course, Fatu and Solo became victorious because the two couldn't work together. And then out of nowhere, freaking Drew McIntyre claymores Fatu and then holds the belt up. And I'm like, okay, this just got even more interesting because I didn't think Drew would even be there. And then there he is, getting that little bit of momentum going into the match. Me personally, I'm thinking, again, this is the same thing with Dirty Dom. They just put the title on it. He just got it, and this is his first defense. I don't see him losing this match. And it's a fatal 4-way, which means there can be interference, legal interference. Now, after what I saw with the promo between Solo and Jacob, Solo is not happy. Solo is threatened, 100% threatened by him right now because he has something that Solo has never gotten, and that's a title. A singles title. That being said, Charles, who do you think is going to win this match?
Well, I'm taking a look at clues. Mm-hmm. How the build-up went on Monday.
Yeah.
How everything played out. So Drew's pissed off because he doesn't believe Damian or a Knight should be in it.
Agree, yeah.
Damian and Knight are fighting each other.
Yeah.
So they're going to cancel each other out.
Yep.
It's going to come down to McIntyre and Fatu.
Yep, 100%.
And I think this goes clean. But I do think that it's going to be to the point where it's just going to be circumstance that Fatu and McIntyre are just going at it, and the other two are just hating each other so much they cancel themselves out.
Yeah.
I see, and I'm going to pull a wild card on this one. I see McIntyre winning it.
What?
The reason I say that, is because I do believe there is another storyline they're going to turn Fatu into, and he's so strong of a character and a wrestler that he can lose it, and he might lose it without being pinned because of outside interference. So I'm kind of drifting off in a couple different ways because I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah,
but it could be a Solo thing that costs him the match and takes him out of it, Like, for instance, Fatu goes ahead and does a freaking moonsault to the edge, and Solo grabs him, and McIntyre capitalizes. So it's something to that nature of something's going to happen in there where Fatu looks like he's going to win. He's going to get the upper hand, and all of a sudden, shit just goes twisted because you know how these fatal four ways are.
Yeah, true.
I see McIntyre walking away with it.
Wow, that's a hot take. I did not expect that. Jay, you want to follow that up?
Oh, that's an interesting fucking theory. I hadn't thought about that.
That's a hot take right there. I didn't think
it really
about that
is. But I'm sticking with my guns. I do think Fatu is going to win. I do feel like Solo might try to do something and try to play it off like, I wasn't trying to screw Fatu out of the match, even though it might kind of play out that way. Something might happen where it's like Fatu's like, what the hell are you doing? But Nick Aldis called him out. I think it was last week on SmackDown where, he, Solo was like, yeah, you're trying to screw him. And Nick Aldis goes, no, I'm not. You are. And it's like, it's very, very obvious. And I said that back before the WrestleMania predictions that if Fatu wins the belt, which he did, it's going to cause some dissension between those two. And it already has started. So I see Fatu winning, but I feel like this might increase the storyline between the fact that Solo is not too happy about it.
100% agree with that. No matter either if Fatu wins, Solo's pissed. If Fatu loses, Solo is happy. But either way, the story between those two is going to go on. It just depends on what the outcome of this match is and what direction they're going to go.
Do we know, or does anybody know, and this is kind of a side note, are both Tongas healthy?
No,
I don't know. I don't think
they are. Although this would be a good night to bring them back.
Right.
This would be a great fucking night to bring them back.
That's not a bad idea if they're both healthy. And I'll even take it a step further on the idea that Fatu does win. I think that eventually we're going to see Fatu as the champion versus Solo at SummerSlam. I think that's a possibility.
That or Money in the Bank.
Either or, but I don't know. Yeah. Maybe let that simmer for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Money in the Bank is next.
Yeah, it is.
Oh shit, it is next. Isn't
it? They're not doing King of the Ring apparently. Is that true?
No, they're not doing King of the Ring.
Why the hell not?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but
because obviously, I see that logo in his face now.
Yeah, I know. It's like get that fucking thing out of my face.
No, because there is only one king, and that's Triple H. So there should be no more King of the Ring.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Wow. Okay. With that being said, we'll move on.
let's do it.
I guess this is like a grudge match. It's the Ring General Gunther versus that pussy ass Pat McAfee. I'll let y'all talk. I got a cough, but Jay, what do you think?
Honestly, I expect Pat McAfee is going to get his ass handed to him in this match. I don't understand where they're going with this. I really don't. But yeah, like you said, grudge match. It should be fun to watch just to see Pat McAfee get knocked on his ass. But I'm not too excited for it. But at the same time, I'm mildly intrigued. So I don't see.
Are you picking Gunther?
Yeah, I pick Gunther. I don't see Pat McAfee winning without any kind of interference, but I don't know who would interfere on his behalf outside of Cole, and I don't know if I see him doing that. Not this Cole. 10 years ago, yeah, totally he would have interfered, but this Cole now, he's a lot more reserved. So
a lot more gray hair in Cole, a lot more, hey, I'm going to call the match and try to stay away from it, but I don't understand why this is a match. I really don't get it. Agreed. I don't understand it. I don't. Gunther is like the world beater.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee is hey, listen, I'm a dreamer, and I want to step in a WWE ring. I want to go ahead and finger Stephanie McMahon, so she put me in this match.
Whoa.
Let's because they interviewed him. She interviewed him. So it's like. Oh, yes, it's my dream. Everything, and I wanted to do this before 30 because I was told at 30 they wouldn't take anybody new. And everything I've done now has been trying to get into the WWE. Okay, you're in the WWE. You're an announcer. That's what you are. You want to go ahead and wrestle fucking the 8-Town Down Under, you go right ahead. You're going to wrestle Gunther? Really? I really hope I really hope against hope this is not a squash match, even though it should be. I really hope Gunther. Listen, and I am a pro Pat McAfee fan. I like his show. I like him. But honestly, he has no business being in the ring with Gunther. Austin Theory, fine. You want to go and wrestle Rey Mysterio, fine. You want to go ahead and wrestle El Grande, Burrito, Shitso, go right ahead. But you're not going to wrestle Gunther without paying the penalty. And the only thing I see is Gunther beats the shit out of him for a minute, goes for a cover, 1, 2, pulls him back up. I'm going to keep rallying. That's the only thing I see this thing happening. Otherwise, there is nothing interesting about this. Where do we go from here? Even if Pat does win, where do you go? Then you've basically reduced Gunther, already looking weak as he is, getting choked out by Uso, to go ahead. And I guess Jey Uso would be the only one to come on in, right?
Well, so both of y'all are picking Gunther to win this match.
Oh yeah, by a long shot.
All right, here's my hot take on this match, and I've thought about this for a while. I've been looking at social media. Pat McAfee wins this match.
Why?
Why? In stereo, why? Who's the person that he was pissing off not too long ago? Gunther. He was talking shit about Legends about a year ago, give or take.
Shit, a year ago? Who was he talking about again?
He was talking shit about Goldberg, who was there, and he had Bret Hart in the ring with him, talking shit about the old generation.
Huh.
Either Goldberg or Bret Hart are going to interfere in this match. I'm thinking more Goldberg, because there are rumors that Goldberg wants a retirement match against Gunther at SummerSlam.
Didn't he already have like 5 or 6 retirement matches? God damn.
You know what? I stopped counting because I never liked Goldberg. I thought he was Hulk Hogan on even more steroids. So,
oh my God.
But my hot take is Pat McAfee wins this match. There will probably be a ref bump at some point, so the ref ain't going to see shit. And Goldberg is going to put Gunther in the jackhammer, spear, and then McAfee takes the win. That is my take on that. And if I'm fucking right, both of y'all owe me a shot. Straight up.
Shit, I didn't get that shot when I called freaking Seth Rollins heist of
Heist of the Century.
Heyman.
That was a good call, though. That was a good call.
But I'm gonna say McAfee takes this match, but he's gonna have help, because on paper McAfee cannot beat Gunther.
Not without help, you did. No way.
But I will say this: when Gunther choked out Pat McAfee, I was jumping up and down like, finally somebody shut that motherfucker up. I am so I like his show on ESPN.
Hater, man. He's a hater.
Put Corey Graves back in that chair where he belongs.
Oh, you stop it.
How dare you?
You know what? Obviously, Corey Graves is going to take that spot probably in the next month or two anyway, because Pat is going back to college football.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying.
Well, Chris has a history of being a hater anyway, so don't be so surprised.
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. This Zodiac fucker.
Fucker. Yeah, the guy that's literally right next to you in that image. That's not even him.
See, anyway. you can't see him picking his nose because the picture's in the way, but a little Ace Ventura Part 2 for you there.
You can alter that image and put it in the other corner, right?
I could.
You don't have to be a dick.
He's choosing not to. He's being an asshole.
You don't have to be a dick to your brother.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, he does. He's been that way since I was born. What are you talking about?
I tried to stifle him as a child. It just didn't work. He was fucking like RoboCop. He just wouldn't fucking go away.
He was fucking like RoboCop? How did RoboCop?
Yeah. Anyway.
I bet he fucks like a machine.
Although that reminds me, just totally off topic, that one time it was us 3 brothers and our cousin Victor were at the house. We were in the den, and there was a girl that I think Ben was talking to, and we had her on speakerphone. And Victor, being Victor,
I know what you're talking about.
Victor was like, "Hey, you know what? You should go out with me because I'm hung like a bear." And without skipping a beat, I really quick rebutted, "Yeah, like a teddy bear."
Teddy bear.
and it got quiet.
That was a great comeback.
And he looked at me like, "You motherfucker!"
Gotta admit, man, that was fucking clever as all hell.
It was quick too. It was like boom. I go, "Oh, where the fuck did that come from?" I remember telling Mom about that, and she was like, "That's fucking funny shit right there."
Yeah, that is funny.
Anywho, off topic, which we always do. The second match I'm looking forward to the most, and that's Lyra Valkyria versus the Man Event. I'm renaming Becky Lynch the Man Event, not the main event, the Man Event, Becky Lynch, for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, Becky turning heel, my reaction to Becky turning heel was...
By the way, for those of you that didn't hear that, it basically was this. So people can actually hear the audio.
They'll hear it, and it's recording on the mixer, so it's obviously going to be on the audio portion of the show. Now, Becky turning on Lyra, genius. Now, a lot of people are pissed. Oh, well, Bayley wasn't hurt, and I don't know if y'all listen to Chris Van Fleet's podcast or not, where he interviews the different wrestlers and all that. I listened to the one where he interviewed Bayley the WrestleMania weekend, and Bayley knew what was going to happen. This interview happened like the day before WrestleMania, and she knew she wasn't going to be in WrestleMania, but she couldn't talk about it, and she dropped a couple of hints that were probably not by design, but she knew she was not going to be a part of the show. And there's been a lot of speculation like, oh, well, Bayley doesn't get the same draw that Charlotte does or Becky does, or even Mercedes or Sasha now in AEW. She's kind of in the back.
I don't know. I feel like she's doing pretty well with the crowd these days.
I'm not saying she's not, but she's just not getting the same draw as the other three horsewomen have gotten over the past decade.
Yeah, that's not a lie.
It's and she understands it. She accepts it. She doesn't like it, but she takes it as it is. Mm-hmm. But for totally off topic, Becky winning the belts, those tag belts at WrestleMania, set up a longer storyline. Triple H is all about story, and then for them to lose it right back to Liv and Raquel, set up that heel turn. And I knew it was coming. I saw it finally. The first heel turn she did was on Charlotte. Was like, who the fuck cares? It's fucking Charlotte. Nobody likes Charlotte. Lyra is a likable character and a very high-worthy mid-level champion right now. So for her to turn her back on her, who someone she idolized in Ireland, it made sense. It worked. And calling her garbage on Raw, oh my fucking God. That promo was fucking lit. I loved it. So I got off topic because we're talking about Becky, future wife, whatever. Jay, who are you picking?
I'm picking Lyra, but quite frankly,
straight to hell. By the way,
I'm just going to go ahead and say I don't like Becky. I understand the heel turn. I think it does work on paper, but I don't like the way she is on the mic. She's kind of a whiny little twat.
Oh, hey, whoa! What? About to
all she's doing is screaming and hollering the same stuff over and over. But it's like, I don't know. Personally, I really do like Lyra, all the work she's been doing on Raw as of late. She's a very good mat specialist, in my opinion, and I love that. You probably know I love mat specialists versus entertainers. So I do enjoy what she's been doing lately, and I do like what's going on between the two of them. But I see Lyra winning this match, honestly. I even to go so far as to say maybe, just maybe, she makes Becky tap. That would be interesting.
Oh, you dirty bastard!
Think about that for a minute.
You dirty little bastard.
That would just add so much more fire, so much fuel to the fire between the two of them if she makes her tap out in a championship situation. Oh, she would just go off after that.
You were so suspended from the show when this is over. Oh, so suspended. How dare you, sir? What's the rule one of the show? Keep the host happy. I am not happy. Charles?
I don't make you happy, sir. That's not my job.
That's what, Charles? My pay rate. Enlighten me, sir. Please get that sour taste out of my mouth right now, please.
I definitely want to make the host happy. I think Becky is a very, very strong wrestler and entertainer, for that matter.
She is.
Her hair is nice, bright red, which basically says, "Stop! You're going to get your ass kicked if you come next to me." Lyra, Lyra's a whiny bitch, and so she can't really handle Becky at her best. I mean, you can't handle the man, no matter how small her genitals may be. You can't handle Becky.
Hasn't she beaten Becky before? Correct me if I'm wrong.
In NXT.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't count.
Yes, it counts. It
well,
counts.
Listen, this is after baby and after marriage, Becky.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, when you're married to a revolutionary, then you're going to go ahead and learn some new tricks.
You did. Wow, I like. What
he did.
I like that. Right. Even though I can't stand that motherfucker, but I get it.
You're gonna learn some new tricks, and I think Becky, hands, feet, and arms are gonna go ahead and take this match to the limit, and Lyra wins.
Oh, you douchebag!
Honestly, I think it has potential to be the match of the night. I think this is going to be the match stealer right here.
I still see the Fatal 4-Way being the match steal. But
it's either or at this point for me.
Definitely, I think these two, and for seriousness, these two actually are very, very good at in-ring, and I think they're going to work very well together.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we saw a lot of good dancing with Fatu and LA Knight in WrestleMania, we're going to see some good dancing going on here with Valkyria and Lynch.
I completely agree with that. 100%.
Do I need to remind you, gentlemen, about something?
I made you happy?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
This right here.
Well, listen, I can't make you happy with that. I don't have tits that I can show you.
You didn't mean it, baby. No, seriously. Becky Lynch is.
Did I see some stains on that?
No.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
It has an autograph on it.
Oh, I thought I saw some like a white stain
on there. Yeah. Do you really think I would stain it then put it on camera without cleaning it first? I'm not stupid. God. I got Windex in the bathroom.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's what laptops and tablets are for. That said.
So now we know what you're doing on your nights. Thanks for telling us. Thank you very much.
Not all of us can have a girlfriend, dickhead. So,
I'm just saying, when Becky showed up for WrestleMania, he turned her away because he had such a big boner and had to finish.
I did not have a boner.
And had the white walls, have it further whitening on that.
He's got the security footage. Wow. Here's how I look at this. Heel Becky is awesome Becky. It's just like heel Cena is awesome Cena. This is the Cena I've been wanting forever. People are not going to like it, which is why Hunter's going to do it. Hunter puts the belt on Becky. Lyra is a fighting champion, don't get me wrong. But in any universe, I don't see how Becky's experience doesn't get her to win this title. As a matter of fact, I have a feeling that Lyra's going to tap from that disarm her. Lyra will tap.
Are you really going to make that same mistake twice?
Why not? Lyra's nowhere near the
no,
level
why
that Gunther is.
Why would you make her look that weak though? Okay,
I agree.
Loses it to the manhandle slam. Why do you got to make her tap? Why are you going to make her look weak?
Or you know what? Okay, fine. Then how about she does some sort of reversal into like a small package pin and steals it?
Yeah. That would make more sense, actually, based on the fact that she's. Yeah,
I'm hoping for the tap. But
okay.
Either way, Becky wins this match, and that is gospel. Your picks don't matter.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if he still says that when he's wrong. You can let me know because I won't be here for the second part.
That's right.
Becky wins it, and all of a sudden the mixer doesn't work, and the buttons don't push down all the way because
the microphone doesn't want to work because Becky lost. Like, can you hear me now? Now, normally for a next match, I would hit the old, but since this is number 17, John Cena.
You gotta tell me what you're pressing because I can't hear it.
No.
Y'all still can't hear it, huh?
No.
Ooh.
That's something on my end I got to fix. But just pretty much Cena saying the champ is here. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
John Cena versus Randy Orton for the last time. Yep. I was hoping this match would happen later on in the title run. Seriously. But the fact that they're in St. Louis, it makes sense. Hometown hero comes home to try to win number 15 from John Cena. That being said, JP, who are you picking?
John Cena's going to win. There's no way he's going to lose. It's not happening. I mean, they've done a good job of building this match up between the promos from each one of them, and I agree with what you said. Heel Cena is so much goddamn fun to listen to. Yeah. When he went off on the kid about your dad's a loser, what was it, last week on SmackDown? That was the stuff of legends. That was awesome.
And then the kid flipped him off, and he's like, "Oh, that's classy." A 6-year-old kid just fucking flipped me off. I'm like, dude, you couldn't have wrote that better.
No, you really couldn't. And they've done a good job of promoting it by showing different points in their careers where they've met up together and whatnot. So it's a good setup. It really is. But let's be fair here. Cena is not going to lose. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
He's going to keep that title for the rest of the fucking year. So in my opinion, if that's going to happen, there's no surprises going in this. Fucking make it interesting. Okay, make it a fun match. If it's going to be like what it was at the main event at Mania, I'm not going to be too happy with watching this match. So hopefully they make it interesting.
How would you make it fun with Cena though? How can you make it fun?
I don't know. That's the problem. I mean, he's only got like 5 key moves. That's the problem. He needs to kind of add a little bit more to his repertoire.
I'm sorry, yes, you can teach an old dog new tricks, but not this late in the career, and that's it. So what you're going to have is you're going to have the same Bruce or Cena, and Randy may fly a few times. That may make it interesting, but you ain't going to see Cena go on the top rope. You ain't going to see Cena jump around and flash around and spear. No, you're going to have the 5-knuckle fluffle. You're going to have the FU. You may have a Cody cutter off the second rope. He kind of brought that move in late in his career.
Yeah.
But
the famous from the top rope was another one of my favorites, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's like, he's got a few moves, but it's like you're going to still get Bruce Cena. If you're expecting this thing to be a top 5, well, actually, in this case, it is going to be a top 5 match.
And it's like I'm
just saying, if you're expecting a 4 or 5-star match from Cena, it's not going to happen.
That's the problem. I'm not expecting it because it never happens. It never happens.
Yeah,
it's like this is going to be, aside from the Pat McAfee Gunther match, this is going to be one of the least favorite matches on the card, just because we already know who's going to win and we know their styles and we've seen them wrestle so many goddamn times. Yep. We've seen it so many times over. There's nothing they can add to the formula, in my opinion.
But there is, because they're doing it in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. And what better way to lose than to lose in front of your fucking family?
You know what? Then make Randy bleed and have him hold his face right in front of his family. That'll really give him some. There's some fucking heat right there. That's some good storytelling right there.
Get some blading going on from the St. Louis Blues. There you go.
Do it.
His fucking forehead.
I know that Jay didn't watch SmackDown last night. Charles, I don't know if you did, but during the very end of the show, Cena cut a promo.
Yep. Oh, I saw that part. I saw it.
You saw the promo?
Yeah, I saw the promo on YouTube, and then I tried to watch the actual show, and then I realized, okay, this must have been like the last thing on the show because I got like over halfway through it, and I was like, okay, I need to go to sleep. But I saw that part.
Because my favorite thing about that is that Randy Orton is the GOAT at being a failure. Just like his 2006 drug test, he's a failure, and I'm like, no, he fucking did not. You know the one thing he should have brought up that would have been totally fucking taboo is that, Randy Orton's a failure at everything, and that includes joining the Marine Corps and having to get a bad conduct discharge. Like, he could have brought that up.
I forgot about that.
That would have been some fire.
It was bad enough that he brought up Bob Orton and buried him.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hate and animosity between these two men. Deservedly so.
By the way, who the fuck was that person that the fake attack?
It was a stunt double. It wasn't even Randy Orton. It was
Oh,
somebody
I know
else.
that because Randy Orton came by and hit him with the real RKO for the second time in a row.
It was a bait and switch.
But Cena wins, yeah.
Okay, that was you already knew.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we have our picks. Unfortunately, the Psycho Nerd will not be here for the review / reaction because he has to go to work. Because adulting is a fucking shitty thing.
Hey, some of us are just night owls, man. Some of us are just needed at night, just like Batman.
Dude, Batman's a creepy dude in a fucking plastic suit that chases criminals. He's a freaking weirdo.
Yeah, but he's fucking rich and he gets chicks.
And
hot chicks too.
And you're neither.
Fuck. Damn, he's quick with a joke and a light of smoke.
That's why we have him here.
Yeah, well, he's here for a lot of reasons, but definitely quick on that trigger. I like that. But that being said, those are our predictions. We'll be on after the show to record our review and our reactions. -1, we will not have, Tits McGee, Charlie Farley over here on the show because he'll be working. But
we will have the Josh Zodiac logo to take his place, which is done a good job.
Well, the logo does have its own mind. Oh, how dare you flip off the logo? You know how long it took me to make that goddamn thing? 2 minutes. AI.
I was thinking a half minute.
That was AI.
Ooh, a whole 2 minutes. Oh.
The hardest part was putting the letters in there. That was the hardest part that I had to do. That being said, stick around. We'll be back. The show doesn't start for another 3 hours. So we got this shit done early.
Actually, no, 2 hours. It starts at 7. Well, is that the pre-show? Yeah, it's probably the pre-show.
No, the actual show starts at 5 my time, so 7 o'clock your time.
Yeah,
so 2 hours.
It's almost 5 here now, so 2 hours. Yeah,
gives me time to go order a pizza.
Yeah, good idea. I got to make dinner for the family.
So, like I said, that being said, we'll be back after the show for the review and reactions and grade our cards to see how we did. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back momentarily. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Backlash 2025 is in the rearview mirror, and it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show, but it wasn't. I'd say it was probably a little bit better than WrestleMania Night 1. But then again, that's kind of hard not to do. So
it's like if you're gonna compare it by first and 10 yards, they got 10.5. They just barely got enough for the first down. I'll go with probably better than Night 1 WrestleMania, but not by much.
Yeah, it was a decent show for what it was. There was some swerves, some surprises that we saw, especially in the main event. Some stuff I thought I'd never see Cena do, but it is what it is. But first, we're going to start with the opening match, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title between Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. Exactly what we thought would happen. The two people that hate each other took each other out. McIntyre and Priest just fought each other to the point where they took themselves out of the match completely, and it was down to LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, which, if in retrospect, that's the way it should have been, because LA Knight should have had at least a rematch clause. But
he doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And then they stopped doing that a while back, but yet some of them still complain, I should have my rematch. I really haven't done that in a minute. I know Solo was out there. Who was the guy that came out to help? Mike.
So Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb
was I looked him up. He spent about 4 years in AEW. Just a real big,
beefy dude.
Beefy, yeah, he's a beefy dude. Like he looks like he put down a lot of quarter pounders.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't look very athletic at all, but the guy can move.
But then again, if you can argue that Kevin Owens doesn't look very athletic, and he can move the way he does, and even Fatu, he's a big dude, he's a big beefy guy, but yet he He does a moonsault almost as good as Tiffany Stratton. They look almost identical the way they do their moonsaults. So,
but this Jeff Cobb looks like he hasn't seen a weight room in years.
Yeah. Well, neither have I. I mean, I don't even know where the weight room is. I think it's that way. I don't know. But
the one thing that I did a line is he is Filipino and Hawaiian descent, so they could always patch him in as the bloodline or the Samoan. Yeah. So
of course. I mean, it's all kayfabe anyway. It's all fake story. I mean, granted, most of them are related in some form or fashion anyway, but they can always make it to where they're a long lost relative or some bullshit. I mean, they can make something up, and the fans won't give a fuck either way.
Yeah. We get the Tongas back, and it's going to start to look scary again.
Yeah, and the fact that he just annihilated freaking LA Knight the way he did, and Fatu was able to retain his U.S. title. I know Fatu looked a little like, who the fuck is this guy when it went down? He looked just as confused as we did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, Solo's got a plan, and I just have a feeling that Fatu is going to break out in some way. Maybe even in some way, form or fashion, Solo's going to cost him that U.S. title down the road. But overall, what did you think of the match? Out of 4 stars, what would you give it?
I'd give it about 3. It had a lot of action. I mean, a lot of outside stuff that's happening. And the 2 people that took each other out were not exactly who I thought it was. I thought it would have been Priest and Knight, and McIntyre would have taken going up against Fatu. I think that's a more of a one-on-one matchup I would like to see down the road. But no, overall, there's a lot of great stuff, and that's usually what you expect when you go ahead and you have a triple threat, fatal 4-way or TLC match. You expect just chaos happening everywhere because there are no rules, there's no countouts, there's no disqualifications. So, and this is what happened. It basically carnage was everywhere with the fans and out there in the ring. So, I'm happy to be proven wrong because I think I had McIntyre winning this one. Just for the signs that I saw, it turns out he wasn't even the one in the ring.
Yeah,
it was Knight and Fatu, and I'm actually happy Fatu is holding on to it. I'm sure there's a storyline down the road with this new corn on the cob guy, so we'll see.
But for me, it made sense because Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest have had some history since last year when he cashed in his Money in the Bank. So it made sense for those 2 to have some beef. Because the majority of last year, Drew McIntyre feuded and beefed with CM Punk. So it was time for him to get that off of his chest. And LA Knight and Fatu, the rematch that he should have got for the title that he lost at WrestleMania, to me that made sense.
Yeah.
But because he had the acid interference, there's no DQ, so anything goes down. I agree.
There was a close call where McIntyre did cover Fatu for 1, 2, and then all of a sudden Priest drugged the referee out, and they had some words, and that just led to that whole escalation out in the audience.
Yeah, but I agree. I would give it a 3. It was a good match for fatal 4-ways tend to be a little slow and sluggish at the beginning, but this one just hit hard right from the word go.
Oh yeah, but, everybody got moves in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Moving on, the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Now, I am upset. I am very heartbroken. I am very wounded right now.
I am here to comfort you in any way. If you need some extra Viagra, I mean, I can go ahead and.
No, I don't need the wind blows right. I get a fucking heart on it. Are you kidding me?
That's
my thing about this is that I'm actually okay with this. I'm not mad about it. Because
did you have therapy for the show?
No, I just rubbed one out after the show was over. So
okay, cool.
A quick one, it clears the mind. Gets the baby batter off the brain. But no, I'm okay with Becky not winning this match because this is a great match. This was a really good match, and I thought there was a spot where Becky was supposed to win, or I thought when Lyra got the pin, I thought they fucked up. I thought Becky was supposed to kick out.
It looks like it too. She kicked at 3.5.
It did look like there was a fuck up there, but I'm like, you know what? This works. And then the match is over, and she just starts beating the living shit out of Lyra to the point where all the officials in the back, got to come back. And she tries to go back, and Jordan's like, nah.
No, what happened?
Nah, go to the back.
I think there was a fuck up. I think that Lyra was legitimately injured, and that's why they went for the quick count of the 3 and just called the match. I think she does have. There's a possibility of a legitimate nose injury or an eye injury or something. It happened right there on the bridge.
But then again, people have wrestled with a nose injury before, so
yeah. That's also the reason why you saw Becky. Because first off, number one, when these two women go at it, or if you ever see two women, just a normal size woman, normally it takes like 10 to 15 guys each to go ahead and hold them. But this one gentleman apparently was in the right place, right time. Nope, you're not going anywhere, and she just laid off on it. So something didn't seem right about that. Like,
I agree.
There
was probably a legit injury, and the fact that Becky was talking shit to Lyra's fiance, who was right in the front row, I'm like, dude, that's just classic heel.
Yeah,
this is your chick. She's a fucking bitch. Is it your chick? She's a fucking bitch, and then starts beating the shit out of her. And
by the way, your fiance's a fucking dork.
Dude,
I mean, that dude, look at him. Really?
That dude gives me hope. That dude gives me hope for the future. It really does. If that dude can get a cute ass chick like Lyra Valkyria, I got fucking high hopes that I'll find my Becky, or maybe Becky will hear this podcast and go, Seth, who? Give me the Zodiac.
No.
We can dream, can't we?
Yeah, well, dream, fantasize, whatever, porno, whatever you want to call it.
Wow, it's okay.
It's all good. Yeah, I know. You have a lot of spank bank material over there.
I love Zodiac. He's the best ever. See, pictures don't lie.
Pictures don't lie, but audio does.
Even though that's AI. AI can lie too.
Yes.
What would you give this match out of 4 stars? Or out of 4 stars?
I did like it. I would want to give it a 3, but just something tells me in the back of my mind that it was too staged. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was a great match. It was a back and forth, a lot of false counts, finishers here and there. Becky did 3 manhandle slams.
Yeah,
and still didn't get the win. I'd give it a 3. It was a great match. I mean, it was on par with the opening match, and that match set the tone for the night. But yeah, I definitely would give that a 3. It wasn't the match of the night, but it was pretty damn good.
Tell you one thing, with 5 matches for the whole night, you can't have one screw up. They all have to be good.
Oh yeah,
I agree. The match is good. I don't know if I'd give it a 3, 2.5, 2, 3/4.
Yeah, I give it 3.
All right.
The next match was Dirty Dom Mysterio versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. And we called it. We knew there'd be outside interference. We knew the Judgment Day would be there. It was just a fact of life.
The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. And it finally did.
But Judgment Day was not the final blow, so to speak, for this match. This match came down to El Burrito combo with the headbutt with the metal plate in the head, knocking out Penta, giving Dom the fence. But I couldn't help but notice that there was a couple of times that Finn Balor was hesitant to help. There was a couple of spots where he was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh, I'll do it."
He was confused as to what to do, not to try to give help. He was confused as to what to do. And now I don't know if that's just Finn Balor and the Demon talking to one another, and they just couldn't make up their mind, or what have you. But no, he's fully. I think he's fully behind Dom.
See, I don't think so. I don't think he's behind his. I think Finn is still pissed off that Dom not only won the IC belt, but he had to pin Finn to get the belt. I think that is laying in the back of his mind.
Well, I'm telling you, if that was, I think Penta would have won, because it had to have come with all aspects. And so the whole Judgment Day comes out. They came out at the beginning, and of course they laid back and waited.
Yeah.
Get kicked out. Finn jumped right up there again after getting kicked out and distracted. So right there shows loyalty right there. He was still trying to help.
To me, it shows me that Finn's buying his time. He's waiting for the right moment.
That might be.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Finn is waiting for the right time.
Who else would be just like, oh, I'm happy not being champion, especially if you're the first Universal champion. Obviously, you want to go ahead and have gold around you. So who's really okay not being a champion?
But see, here's the thing, though. People tend to forget that Finn Balor held that belt for 24 hours. Yeah, because Seth Rollins separated his shoulder in the middle of that match.
Mm-hmm.
And he has not gotten back to the top of the singles mountain since. He's been only
I think he's had one match, and that was against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So
you know how that went.
Yeah. But I've got a feeling that Finn, I think we're probably gonna see the demon Finn Balor. I mean, we haven't seen him in a minute, but I kind of have a feeling we're gonna see that guy come back, probably SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series. Maybe, but I do see Finn turning his back on not only Dom, or turning his back on Dom and trying to get him out of the Judgment Day, but it's probably going to backfire. I see Finn probably being kicked out of the Judgment Day because of his actions.
I'm not seeing that. I think that Finn is fine. I think the Judgment Day is fine.
No, Raquel Rodriguez is fine. That's
she's
real.
Fine.
Raquel Rodriguez is fine.
But I'm not talking about that fine. I'm talking about they're okay. They're in cahoots with each other. That's fine. They're all right. I don't see any cracks yet. Will that be down the road? I don't know.
Oh, they're already there. There's already cracks in the foundation. It's just they're slowly peeking their little head, because I just saw just a little hesitation in Finn in that match helping out Dom.
Maybe.
But it was very subtle. It was very small. But it was enough to me to go, okay, I see it. That's all right.
Maybe.
What would you rate this match?
I like it. It was and the surprising part is Dom showed that he could hold his own.
Yeah, he did.
He really did. He didn't need the Judgment Day. I mean, yeah, he would probably look like he was going to lose without him, but he was with toe to toe with Penta for a good portion of that match. I'll go ahead and give it a 3.
I have no argument here. 3. And again, the Judgment Day was not the deciding factor. It was burrito combo. So yeah, definitely he was a deciding factor. But like you said, Dom held his own and was, Dom has progressively gotten better since his debut. He looked very green when he first came in, and he has just over time has just gotten so much better.
Yeah, that he looked really good.
Yeah, he did. And I know he's the heel. You're not supposed to, but even then you're like, that's impressive. Like you can hate a quarterback in the NFL, but you can respect his game. Like, yeah, I don't like that guy, but fuck, he's really good.
Yeah.
You
can't overlook him anymore. That's it. No. I mean, before you could, but now you can't.
No. Moving on, which was a match that I really thought would have gone differently, and that's Gunther versus Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee came to ball straight up. He looked like he was prime ready to go. Gunther looked like he was prime ready to go. Of course, the freaking Pat taking off his shirt reminded people that I used to be in the NFL. But you were a punter. Fuck you. Seriously, you're a fucking punter. I'm not impressed by that.
No.
Any fucking idiot can be a punter.
Should have stuck with his tank top.
Yeah, agreed. You should have. But this match definitely, and of course, Michael Cole before. I'm going to apologize before this match starts, but I've been unbiased for 28 years on this microphone. Tonight, right now, I'm going to be biased because I cannot stand Gunther. I'm like, dude, that's a given. I didn't need you to give me that freaking prologue before the match started. I get it. You don't like Gunther. You're going to go for your boy Pat. I get that. I don't need the precursor. I don't need the crawl before the movie.
There was a lot of fill-in time with this pay-per-view or this PLE. There was a lot of fill-in. So Pat, I did. There was a lot of over explanations to everything that's been going on.
Oh yeah, agreed. But this match actually went in a much different direction than I thought. I really thought that it would be all Gunther, that Gunther would just destroy him, and McAfee actually had some offense and looked impressive in a lot of spots, at least until Michael Cole got involved and just pissed off Gunther even more. And then ultimately, McAfee passes out from the sleeper hold that Gunther fucking tapped out from. But again, this match was a lot better than what I was expecting it to be. So surprisingly, I'm going to give it a 2.2.5 stars, just because it was decent for what it was. You know, it could have been better, could have been worse. We didn't get any kind of, like what I was predicting, any kind of outside interference. No old timer coming out there setting up something for SummerSlam. I'm sure that's probably going to come later if they go that route, which I've been hearing rumors about that. So we'll see how true that is. What would you give it?
Definitely at 2.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to go differently on this one. This one basically was Gunther having fun.
Yeah.
Took his eye off the ball a couple of times, and all of a sudden McAfee gets a drop kick, a punt, and a sleeper on top. So he got a little offense. Gunther could have taken this any way, shape, or form. This, they were just trying to go ahead and have a good time. He was just trying to have a good time and extend the match. That's how it was. I'm going to give it a 1. I didn't care for the match much. Michael Cole had no business getting off that mic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Holding down his foot, getting in the match, being involved in the match. Listen, if you're gonna have somebody, Michael, slip 100 under Wade Barrett's belt and say, "Go in there, you got the in-ring experience." Try to see
no shit, right?
Yeah,
Wade Barrett's not stupid. He doesn't want any part of Gunther. He's not stupid.
No.
And that's smart. Like, you know what? Hindsight being 2020, like, fuck that. I've been in the ring with dudes bigger than him. I'm not getting in the ring for fuck you.
Yeah, but this match didn't appeal to me at all. I mean, like I said, I'm a Pat McAfee fan, and I was kind of hoping for a better show, but it's like when you go ahead and chop war for half the match, and your chops are basically you're slapping like some girls behind, oh, and then all of a sudden you got a return chop, and your ass just goes to the floor. Yeah. You're outmanned, and it was just a lot of fun for Gunther. That's all.
Yeah, it was like a tune-up match for him, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got paid for the day and didn't really have to work. Didn't really have to bring a sweat.
That's a very valid point. And then we move on to the main event: Randy Orton versus the never seen 17 greatest of all time, John fucking Cena. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. This match was everything it was hyped up to be. And Michael Cole even said that these two men are tied at the numbers of wins and losses they have. So whoever wins this match will be on top of their rivalry
forever.
And, forever. This will never change. Yep. Never, ever, ever. And it did not disappoint. It was a little slow, but was the way Cena has been lately. I'm kind of expecting him to be a little slow at the beginning of the match.
You want to go ahead and extend that match as much as you can, because Cena, if you went ahead and put him into a high physical, really fast paced match, I don't think he has 5 minutes in him.
Yeah,
you go ahead and dumb it down to the first gear, maybe a second gear, a third. You got 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, true. And not only that, but there was a lot. There was 2 ref bumps in this match, not 1, but 2. Well, 3.
It was even worse.
It was 3 because the same ref got bumped twice.
And it was even worse. So you had the 3 ref bumps, and then you have everybody from the production team, security team, come out there, and everybody gets RKO'd.
It was an RKO party, and Randy Orton was hosting, and like Michael Cole said, there'll be a slew of fines coming his way. I'm like, yeah, probably. Yeah.
I was honestly, there was a point in time in that match, because Nick Aldis was there. There was a point in time in the match where I thought Nick Aldis would go ahead and be the ref, kick Randy in the nuts, have Cena, take Cena's lifeless body, put the arm over, and Nick will take the honor and count 1, 2, 3. Because that would have been such payback.
It would have been
the RKO.
Yep. But the part that got me the most about this match, it was R-Truth got involved.
Which I thought he would.
R-Truth, who I've been a fan of Cena since I was a kid. I'm like, dude, you're older than he is, which is it's just so fun. Or R-Truth is like trying to negotiate with Randy, and he gets an RKO for his problems, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's what you're gonna get. I mean, Randy was aiming up for the punt, so R-Truth was going in there and trying to save his childhood hero. If childhood heroes were 20 years old, I guess, or if you were 20 years old and you were a child, I guess.
And it's funny because Cena took like 3 or 4 RKOs. He went through 2 fucking tables.
Yep.
And yet still he gave a low blow, a shot to the head with the belt, and then a couple of AAs, and he's victorious. And then
not even at the end, not even in AA. It was a low blow, shot to the belt, and then holding them up for a 7 count and getting the 3.
Yeah. And then the match is over. You sure as hell can't see me, but you can hear me. And I'm like, oh no. I'm thinking there's somebody about to come out, but nobody did. I'm a little disappointed. I'm like,
All he did basically was like saying, I don't need music. I don't need you. I need competition. I'm over here thinking, bitch, you just got competition. You got your ass handed to you, and you go ahead and win by the kick in the nuts or the arm to the nuts and a belt shot, and you call yourself a real champ, whatever. But listen, like we said before the show, take a look at the list of the top people that have held championships, and you're going to know that there's at least 1 or 2 of those championships that each of those people held that were done villainously. I'm not sure I pronounced it right, but
they did it in a very heelish way.
Yes, very.
Okay. And that's just the way the way wrestling is. You go from we had the baby face, we had Cody, now we have the heel. It's very rare you go from heel to heel and baby face to baby face. It's rare.
Yeah,
I think only one I can think of off the top of my head is when Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, I think it was, in the Sky Dome. That's the only time I can think of a face versus face. So,
and this match went for 28 minutes, and I'm guaranteeing you 25 of that was Cena basically unconscious.
But he still got paid, though.
He got paid. Oh, yeah, he got paid for his 3 weeks of work.
Now, with that being said, what would you rate this match? What would you rate this match?
It was what I expected, but I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a 3.5 because of all the carnage that was going on. Cena going through 2 tables, you got not interference, but the ref bumps. Crazy shit was happening during obviously while the refs are down. Illegal stuff. 2 possible punts from Randy. Yeah. I think there was about 14 RKOs. That does come into the tally here. And not all of them were Cena. I think Cena took 3 or 4.
Yeah.
There was 10 RKOs to Nick Aldis and the rest of the crew and R-Truth. Sorry about that, buddy. But I'll give 3.5 on that one because, again, we weren't expecting to be dazzled. It was going to be a pound and pound, but it was very interesting.
And I give it a 3. It did what it was supposed to do. The outcome is what I was expecting. I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I wasn't, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It was, okay, it happened the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it a 3. Now, with that being said, what would you call the match of the night?
Oh, the match of the night was definitely the Fatal 4-Way. I have to give it to that.
See,
you're going to go with Becky Lynch, aren't you?
Only because it told a bigger story. There's more. I know there's a lot of story.
There's still more to that story.
I know there is, but there's also some. We know that's going to build up to a whole other bloodline. But with the Becky Lyra thing, there has been speculation about her joining this new deadly alliance that Paul Heyman has on Raw. I think there's something that's gonna happen. Becky lost clean. There was no interference. Granted, she tried to cheat by taking that turnbuckle off.
Yeah.
And even brought in a chair, but she lost clean to the babyface. But I feel like there's more to this story that needs to be told. And I'm just curious where it's gonna go. Plus, it was a great fucking match.
It was.
It was a great match. I'm not saying the Fatal 4-Way wasn't a great match. It's just. And, we live in a time now where sometimes the women's matches are better than the men's, and we lived in a time when the women's matches were bathroom break matches.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone,
mud wrestling.
Yeah. So for anyone to say that the women's match is the match of the night, it's like, oh, fuck, okay, But again, and plus they're both Irish. They're both Irish girls, so got to go for the home team. So, with that being said, what would you rate the show overall? Letter grade.
Letter grade. I'll go with a B minus. B minus is my letter grade on that one. Still,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'll give it a B minus as well. It could have been better. Could have been worse.
The Gunther McAfee match. I'm sorry, that brought it down.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That was your bathroom break match.
Yeah. Then again, you could have gone to the bathroom and come back and still not missed anything. Just Gunther beating the living crap out of Pat McAfee.
Honestly, and the sad part is that match lasted longer than Dominic's match. By 5 minutes, almost double.
But the Dominic match was more high pace. It was two, smaller guys, putting on a lucha libre type of match. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I agree. B minus is definitely what I would give it. The next show is going to be the Monday Night Main Event in 2 weeks.
Saturday night's main event.
That's what I meant. Did I say Sunday? I meant Saturday.
Yeah, you said Monday night.
Whatever. You know what I meant.
Yeah, that's right down here in Tampa.
Oh, you gonna go?
I can't. No, I'm actually heading to Disney that weekend.
Oh, so you won't be.
It's Memorial Day weekend. We're gonna head out there. So.
Oh, that's right.
Just a really, really shitty weekend to go ahead and come to WWE in Tampa. Damn it! It could be next week or the week before. Fuck.
Damn.
So it's all right.
Does that mean you won't be able to record that weekend?
Yeah, actually that would be, unfortunately. Sorry, bud.
No, it's all good. It's the main event. It's Saturday main event. I mean, it's not a PLE, but
it's almost like it is nowadays, even though it's on regular TV, but still it's almost built up like it's this big thing.
Then again, what we could do is during the week, sometime we could do like whatever news is going on. Just
we'll talk about it often.
We got 2 weeks to figure it out. I'm not stressing it, but I haven't done the main event either. In the past couple of ones, just kind of it's happening. Oh well, just kind of blow it off because again, it's not and it's only 2 hours long. So
yeah,
and it's pretty quick pace. Like the last one was pretty fast. So
this one was 2 hours long.
Yeah,
like it was short. Anyway.
This PLE went by quick, so
it did.
Well, shit, we both give it a B minus. It was, like you said, it was a decent show. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst.
There wasn't a lot of differences of opinion between you and I, except for the Gunther match. Yeah. That was the only difference. I just didn't see as much of a value as you did.
And the only match that you got wrong was the Fatal 4-Way because you picked Drew.
Yeah, I know. I should have went with my gut and picked Fatu, but.
And I get to kick my brother in the dick because he got all 5 of them right.
Yeah.
He picked Dom, Fatu, Gunther, Lyra, and Cena. And I got 2 of them wrong because I was thinking outside the box. So
you were thinking with your other head with the one of them.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Speaking the truth. I'm sorry. I'm speaking our truth.
We have our truth for that. And little Jimmy. We don't need the truth.
That's right.
That being said, this will conclude this prediction / review of 2025 Backlash. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, don't ever fucking have a shitty ass Backlash like this again. The show is good, but 5 freaking matches. That's it. That's almost like freaking doing another Raw. Come on.
I think the reason being is because there's a UFC tonight, and they didn't want to interfere with that.
Oh,
I think that's the reason why.
So TKO basically said, listen, this UFC shit's bigger than you guys. You need to cut it by 10.
Well, truth be told, I think UFC's got better numbers than WWE. But
yeah, it's because it's more realistic, I guess.
Yeah, people keep beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
Before we go, you want to promote your show?
Yeah, why the fuck not? Yeah. It's the Charles Richardson Show, Monday and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. Just search the Charles Richardson Show, and you can find us there. plus my flagship radio station, power1radio.com. Greatest dance hits of the 80s and 90s. If you're not listening to my show, listen to some dance music, and we'll be on there as well. Yeah, go ahead and do the wave. I'm doing it's not disco, just 80s. It's 80s, not disco.
Well, you
take it a little bit further back.
Yeah. And since he couldn't be here to promote his show, since he had to work, the Psycho Nerd podcast, you can find that on YouTube. I haven't checked. I think he has a newer episode that came out recently, so keep an eye out for that. On the links for both Spotify and YouTube, I'll have the links for both Charles and my dipshit brother shows in the description. That way you can give them a like and a follow. And of course, you can always like, follow, and subscribe to this great podcast, the DJ Zodiac podcast. Again, we always want your input. And I'll be talking about that probably at a later date. Actually, I have to record the beginning of the show. I got my first comment. So I don't know why I brought that up now when it'll be.
I don't know why either. Edit it out.
I'm going to go into the DeLorean and just go back in time and just smack myself in the head and go, don't bring it up. God, I'm an idiot. That's all right, though. People will laugh more at this when everything comes together.
Yes.
Even Star Wars sucked the first time it was cut. So that's the truth, actually.
Yeah.
But with that being said, for Charles Richardson, this is the Jazz Zodiac. This was the Jazz Zodiac podcast. We want to thank you for being here. And until next time, on your left. It's the Jazz Zodiac podcast.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.